Hey guys, Jared Tebo here. Got another JTP tech tip. This time diff break-in for the RB6 and how to check your slipper after you break in the diff. So I got the car turned on, brand new diff. Have it set a little bit tighter than I would normally have it. So I'll just hold one wheel and just lightly give the throttle, just spool up the diff just a little bit. I'm only about 8 throttle right now, something like that. Just want to spool it up lightly. Do this for about a minute, just for the first initial break-in. And just on that initial break-in, it loosened up just a little bit. So I'll go ahead and tighten it. With the Kyosho car, you have this nice little hole in the outdrive, and you can line up the slot with the screw and you can tighten it. If you have it in mid-motor configuration, you grab the left wheel, turn it backwards. So just tighten it up just a little bit. And go ahead and start spooling it up again. Maybe a little bit faster than you did the first time, but still not too fast. Again, do the second one for about a minute or so. It's like the first time it loosened up a little bit. That's not a bad sign at all. When it loosening up while you're breaking it in, that just means that it's breaking in. So when it stops loosening up, then you're just pretty much broke in. So tighten it again. Try to get it a little bit tighter than how I would run on the track. And I'll start spooling up a little bit faster. Only about quarter throttle. I'll hold it constant for a little bit, and then I like to do little blips here and there. Still only going to a quarter throttle. Starting to really break in good now, loosened up again. Tightening it up some more. When you're tightening it up, when you turn the wheel, do like 1/8 of a turn increment, something like that. You don't want to get too crazy and tighten it up too tight. So now I'll spool it up again. still keeping it about quarter throttle. Probably after this one, I'll get it a little bit tighter, and then we can start spooling up a little bit harder to get that final brake in. Yeah, I think it really got broken in that time. It loosened up quite a bit, so now getting it pretty close to how I would feel when I would hit the track. Maybe just a little bit tighter. We should be just about done. The sign you want to look for is when your diff stops loosening up after you spooled up, and that's the sign that it's all broken in. Getting close. Now I'm going a little bit more, not quite half throttle, but a little bit more than quarter throttle. As you can see, it really didn't change much that time, so this just about all broke in. So now I think it's all broken in. Now I'll just set it to how I'd run it on the track for the first time. You know, even running on the track for the first time, I'll set it just a little bit tight, just in case it breaks in a little bit more. You know, you really just don't ever want to run your diff too loose. You know, that's how you can crunch the balls and you know, have to build a new one. If it's a little bit too tight that first time, that's all right. Might not drive as good as you want, but you won't hurt it. So, you know, after you run your first run on the track, then you can loosen it up a little bit. And yeah, just barely changed at all that time. So I think it's broken in. I'm just going to just lightly tighten it. And yeah, it's good to go. So now I'll show you how to check the slipper. I built a new slipper on the RB6. I try to set it a little bit safe. I don't know if you can see the threads in there, but I get it pretty much just flush with the end. You know, the nut's just a little bit in from flush, but it's pretty close with the top shaft. And so you want to check your slipper after your diff is totally broken in. So you hold both wheels and you just give it gas. You don't want to just roll onto it, because you know that will just kind of melt your pads. This first one you want to be a little bit easy, especially if you have an all new slipper. I have all new slipper parts in here, so you know, they need to break in just a little bit as well. So you can hear it slipping a little bit. You don't want to slip it too much because you'll glaze your pads. So now I'll just go ahead and tighten it. Not quite a quarter turn, so we'll see where we're at here. honking noise was my diff, so maybe it wasn't quite all the way broken in. So it loosened up a little bit. One little honk like that's not too bad, but you don't want to do that too much. So I will go ahead and tighten that up. I think we're going to be pretty set here. How I like to run my slipper is you want the front end to pull up pretty quick, but you want to have a little slip in there. So you know, you're pretty much just clicking full throttle when you're checking it. And that's still just a touch on the loose side, so I'll just lightly tighten it. And there you go, slipper's set, diff is broke in, pop my cap back on, and yeah, listen for it on the track if your slipper's slipping, or if you hear that honking sound, that's your diff, and you do not want to hear that on the track. That is a bad sound to hear, and you want to tighten up your diff if you hear that and just pull off, because if you make that sound too many times, you're just going to totally crunch your diff. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can get your diff and your slipper set properly, and it will help you out on the track.